for that revelation, that thought that God has put in our hearts. It's not everyone gonna embrace it. It's not everybody gonna respond when they need to. But one thing about this gospel and this salvation, it is individual. As much as we might help or encourage others, we have to serve God for ourselves. I don't think that's only like a selfish statement. I would say save yourself and then that will hear you. So by extension, if what you are saying resonates with someone else, they also will piggyback onto the same drive and determination you will have. Also, looking at the example we had Tuesday night where Ruth did the same thing. Something that was special about Naomi attracted Ruth to follow. And that was remarkable because I don't think Ruth had a root in herself. But because Naomi was a very strong believer, a very good example, because she believed in the right God, the one and true living God, Naomi eventually got out of her bitterness. And Ruth, being a follower of her, she said what? Entreat me not to leave thee, or to return from following after thee. So for whither thou goest, I will go, and whither thou lodgest,
I will lodge.
Thy people shall be my people, thy God, my God, and where thou diest, I will die. Powerful statement, but a beautiful statement. Right. No, so we are like that today, and I really am glad to see who came out tonight for this wonderful session. Now, the questions the person I will ask will not be pertaining to the topic, all right? But they have to be a bit hard and controversial. And as I always say, the religious hard talk is a time where we talk on questions that we don't get a chance to talk to in the general body of discussion, that sometimes persons just stick to the positive stuff. But as our life is real. When I look at the story of Tamar, and is Tamar with her brother?
Yes.
So her brother again, Amnon, right? That was a very gruesome story, So these things happen in real life. The Bible did not hide these scenarios from us. Even when David went to trouble another man's wife, Bathsheba. All these are scenarios where the Bible didn't skirt around the issue. And I always am a firm believer that we need to bring more particular topics that the youngsters can understand how to function in this life. All right? It's one thing to talk about to love God, but can you love God when you have the pressures of life bearing down on you? When you have persons soliciting you for all sorts of illicit acts? Can you stand your ground? So we are here going to dive and delve into these topics to see how best we should maneuver and navigate this life. So praise the Lord, saints. It's open for young and old to answer. And older ones, and it's youth night, but your answers are solicited because we don't want to leave here with the wrong impression and the wrong scriptural interpretations. So get your Bibles ready, get your Bible apps ready, get your minds opened up. Some might think the question a little easy, some might think it's difficult. It's up to you, depending on your experience. You just answer it the best way you can. We need a mic ready for the call. Get at least two ready for the call. All right, the first question will be, to take off my glasses, because the bifocals, they working. I'm at that age. Should a child of God attend a baby shower for two unwed parents? Should a child of God attend a baby shower for two unwed parents? Let wait, let's spin the mic. Okay, we give you my mic.
Well, me personally, I don't see anything that is wrong with it because everybody needs support, and if it's your friend, you go to show support. It depends on the environment, yes. But if you go show your support and you think the environment is not for you, then you can leave afterward when you go to show support.
All right. But everybody, what is your little one said with your mind, no? Tell it to your uncle. Tony? Yes, you may say. Okay, good.
For the purpose of being cantankerous, however that would be.
Cantankerous.
Cantankerous.
Your problem.
Okay, as a child of God, we shouldn't be supporting something that we personally don't believe in. So from that standing, no, we should not attend the baby shower for the purpose of that's a support of the act that they put their back in. And it wouldn't be good, it wouldn't be wise of you to go there having ill intentions of telling them what they did wasn't correct either, because that wouldn't be wise. That wouldn't be wise of you.
Why, in the moment, you mean?
In the moment that
Yeah,
it wouldn't be wise. That's a celebration, not the only way a celebration, because you feel differently.
I got you. I hear you. What's Roslyn back? Anybody else after Sister Roslyn? Sister
As I
Felicia?
was saying to Tony, I get what he's saying, yes, but the thing is that the child had nothing to do with the parents. So you actually go to a baby shower to carry gifts for the baby, not for the parents. So you're showing support for the child. So you say you're being cantankerous, yes, but from my point of view is that
I know it's best.
everybody needs support, regardless of what the situation is.
All right. Felicia, you have another mic here? Yes, you have it already.
I concur with what Sister Grant said, and also to add, should the pastor refuse that same unwed couple with that baby to offer up that child?
Okay, I'll answer your question. Anybody else? Sister Fair. Wait, Sister Fair.
For me, as regards to Brother Tony, God says you're supposed to go on the highways and byways. So that could have just been Brother Tony's opportunity to speak to the couple, but he decided not to go because they're unwed. So Brother Tony is not going to win any souls at all because he's not going to go.
Wait, Elsie, go ahead.
See, as I said, and as me and Dalton
Sister B, go ahead.
spoke, that's not the moment to speak to them because that's a celebration. You're not getting any soul by going to a celebration of life to say, hey, this life shouldn't have happened this way. You do that on a, especially if you're a friend, you do that on a separate occasion when they celebrating this thing. Because if, from my opinion, a baby shower ain't necessarily for the child, it's for the people celebrating the life, so to speak. So it's more about the husband, well, the soon to hopefully be husband and wife.
Hopefully it's going to be husband and wife, yes. That would be. But I'm never telling you. Yes.
Praise the Lord. Bibles make it clear, light and darkness can walk in the same room, right? If you're a child of God, and you going for a baby shower, you gotta first know what gonna take place at that baby shower. If it's gonna be all sinners deal, and you're gonna be the only saint, you know what I mean? What influence you could have if you is not the one who have the authority to take charge of the baby shower. But if you is the one that make a decision for the baby to have the baby shower, I see no problem in
Can I ask Pastor?
If you're the one make
Because
choice.
the baby shower.
it. If I, baby shower you said, right? if I in charge making a presentation to have the baby shower, right? And I as a saint of God, I have fully control of that baby shower. But if I'm not, I cannot have no influence on what's gonna take part in that baby shower. So the thing is it that the Bible says light and darkness cannot be. So if I'm gonna be in the presence of pure sinners going on with the reveling, then I can't be a child of God.
Yeah,
Baby shower is a baby shower, don't have revenue, just like a.
depends. Some have.
games, but that's what
Some
they
have,
do.
no, some have.
Beautiful.
Maybe his experience is that he has to get. We can't remove it from the equation. There has been to some, where something like that. But how it was with that, that's what kind of that. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, I was asking if what happened if someone for you go to the baby show and then they bring back food from the baby show, would you say eat it? No, but the food, but seriously though, the food was prepared.
Stephen.
But it's a serious question though, because the food was prepared for the celebration of life. Of the it was prepared for the celebration of the baby shower of the Almighty. So what would you do in that situation? Would you hold your go from Jesus Christ? Yeah, that's
Somebody
a
else?
question.
Very good question, sir. Anybody else before I give my input, can I just say something quickly? Sister Rose? Yeah, my way.
My thing is that I think we kind of push it a little too much because we welcome our singers. We everything in the world, and we go anywhere is a singer person most of the time, driving, playing, doing everything. So why is it that we trying to make it sound like you can't be among people? As Lucy says, you go for support, right? And if the environment turn out to be not what conducive to you, you can leave. The man's holding you there. But it's support for the parents or the child. I don't say anything wrong with it. You just push it a little too much.
All right, anybody else quickly before? All right. What's the question was again, sorry? Oh, the offering. Yeah, I can answer that this way. There's a scripture in 2 Thessalonians 3, verse 14. It was more, as you can tell, it was for saints, because it's a scripture written to saints. And if any man obey not our word by this epistle, know that man and have no company with him, that he may be ashamed. Now, okay, that is one aspect of looking at it. 2 Thessalonians 3, verse 14. And we must accept that our presence legitimizes certain things. I have recognized when I was a young boy, when I showed up to certain things, it kind of was like a rubber stamp of approval for certain things. It happens, and the higher you rank you are, you might seem as innocuous to some person, like you just happen to show to support. But it can also have an impression that you are in favor or in support. Now, as person rightly said, the child is harmless, the child is innocent, the child is asked to come forth. But the message is not for the child. The child, in and of itself, would not even know what you are doing if you showed up or not. Right? So, it's a message to the parents, per se. Now, what somebody rightly said, we live among sinners. You know, would you have that same stance with sinners in terms of, as Tony said, a celebration? It's a celebration of life, but it's a celebration of something that was resulted from an unlawful act based on the scripture. So now it might seem again to you, it's neither here or there for me. Right? Now, to support what, to answer to Tanisha's question, that's one of the reasons why I don't know if you recognize that when children are offered up, if they are, the parties are unmarried, they are offered up after the service. And those who are married are offered up within the service. So I asked my dad, why do you do that? It's the same child, it's the same, it's not just a child, whatever. He said he has to send a message to the parents. The parents must understand how big it is not punishing the child, because even Jesus said, suffer the children, suffer not, get to come unto me and forbid them not, for such is the kingdom of heaven. It still must be sent to a message to the children, to the parents, that this way of procreating is not supported by the church. Likewise, you as a personal person can take a stance like that. I personally do that, albeit I was kind of ambushed here and there with one or two other things. All right, that is my stance. But to culminate what I'm saying, you can still support the child, but not. You don't have to put in celebration. There's nothing saying that you can't support the child. For example, many times I carry gifts to many of my co-workers and many of my persons who are engaged to me, or even some church members who got caught up like that. You give them gifts to support the child along the way, and not just for the baby shower. You support the child for the life of the child. Nothing is wrong with that. But the celebration part is what I have an issue with. Now, if it's a situation where the persons are poor and they are unwed, I have seen cases where it's a time when it is to gather up gifts to support the child. In a case like that, I have no problem. But if you're going to be a situation where you're ignoring the fact that the child was born of wedlock, and you just willy-nilly just going through the celebration as if it's some lawful act, then I wouldn't feel the support of that. Anybody ready to jump against me or for me? We can take the mic now.
From the Bible is that the Bible is not absolutely talking about baby showers.
Right.
But the Bible speaks about when the wise men brought gifts. Remember when Jesus was born? He said he brought gifts. The wise men brought gifts. That's how you know that the Bible really speaks about the gifts that they brought. And even when Naomi, I think Ruth.
Yes, what the woman has
Ruth, yeah. There was rejoicing. I think when Obed, yeah, there was rejoicing. So I believe baby shower is not really a sin, but it's how we take it. It's how we absolutely take it. Because the Bible speak about gifts. Gifts was given out. You understand? So it's how we
both parties were married, by the way.
Eh?
Both examples they gave were married to us. I got you.
You were saying?
Yeah. So, but I got you. Yeah. The case is definite. You have to support the child regardless. The child is.
It's not wrong with giving the gift. It's not wrong with giving the gift. I will still maintain, if I controlling the party, I have a total authority whether to sing 12 or sing gospel. But if I not in children and I go in there as a visitor, I have no control to decide what to take place. So we as children of God, we got a certain thing of certain places are certain involved with certain things. The Bible make it clean. Light and darkness can walk together.
All right. Don't feel free to say we have to get easy in mind like that anyway. Just get it out, But yes, it's a ticklish situation. That's one of the reasons I bought it. I will be honest, I have attended baby showers with persons who were unwed. I was quite uncomfortable. I was quite uncomfortable. Yes?
I look at it is really generosity for the mother also, because there are certain mothers who really, they go through this procedure, and some of them don't even have like a towel for the baby.
Right.
Some of them don't even have out the baby turning over.
Only legal
Some of them out of pampers and so.
Yes.
And you find that
Yes,
people
definitely.
will donate
Right.
to them.
If he's done like that, I have no problem, you
They
know.
have no problem.
Yeah, but I have seen cases where like, you know what I mean, when you gonna get the next one? You know, gonna,
Baby show, we went to welcome music and stuff. I've been to showers. I said, I don't know which show he went to and they had welcome music like that, because I've been to shows and never experienced that kind of vulgar kind of thing. So that's why I said, from my point of view, I don't see anything that is wrong with it. As Sister Peter said, it's support for both mother and child.
yeah. Go ahead, Tony.
I mean, I can't disagree. I mean, but there's one thing people in general is going to do. If you can find a reason to party, they'll find a reason to party. Yeah, let's say okay. I mean, if you could do it for funerals, why not do it for the birthday?
Yeah, but it's a type of celebration for true, but it's on a kind of conditions where you don't want to seem like you're promoting fornication. And it's a very ticklish thing. As a Sunday school teacher, as a pastor, as an elder in the church, you gotta be careful of what your presence legitimize. For example, I remember, this is off the topic though. I remember went to a place where some type of music was playing. Music was kind of iffy, kind of questionable. It was gospel artists, but the music didn't sound like gospel music. You had to really dig deep to hear the lyrics. And the younger saints, me being an older brother, being a Sunday school teacher, because I've been teaching Sunday school since I turned 14, right? They watched me to see what I did and what I accepted, to see how they would have performed. You understand what I'm saying? So don't ever feel that your presence is insignificant as a child of God. If that's the way you live your life, then that's different. But I know when I go to places and I'm seen, all right, instantly once I show up and this ain't putting myself in the high esteem, the whole atmosphere changed when I walk in the room. Because they don't want to know, turn on the music and that to come. And kind of things that you hear. We can't do this, we can't do that, because the money may come for that, eh? I didn't come for that, but that's how people perceive a particular person.
Yes, I thought when he was talking, he also have a base on your profession as well.
Yes.
Because I remember as a young nurse, I was at a particular spot. We are recording, let's say. Then when I went back to work, a patient was like, nurse, the thing, I ain't seen, men and nurses does the things.
Yeah.
So it was also based on professional.
Right. So we as children of God, I don't want us to take our presence as so a light thing. Because it can almost look like it is a supportive thing. And as teachers, the same thing we teachers too. I'll come in, we just say the same thing. One time come this thing too. One time I had a big discussion with the Ministry of Education. I said, well, I see sometimes my students up and down the place during late hours and stuff like that, and it's after school time. And I said to them at one time, so you guys will tell me, if I go to the beach and I see students over there, one might be in my farm class, and the student over there getting himself in problems, I cannot use the example of maybe drowning. Right? No, as a child, I wouldn't walk off of that. But I just give the example to show. I supposed to now go and put myself in harm's way because my student in my farm is there. You know what the ministry tells me? How could you unknow your student? How could you unknow who you know? And you be the farm teacher, how could you walk by the other direction when that person, you're going to see them Monday morning bright and early at 8:30? I take the answer. So me tell you something. But if I say that again, right. But I'm saying, they said to me though, but that's why you don't there when children are around, and it's a function going on, I go elsewhere. Because I got to be a witness. They say I got to interject, intercede, whatever, because you are, I'll give an account because you know the person and you are the form teacher. I said, well, you know, after hours, me got to still be teacher, it's all right. Guy Tony, then Stephen. Tony then Stephen. Tony then Stephen.
I actually had a question, but it's like a simple question. So, she and I have functions as a baby show. So, we've all been to high school. I have a question. How many of us have not gone to our prom that happened during high school? Like, how many of us decided to just step?
Well, probably the next question for you. That's a good question. It's such a big issue for a lot of people. But Steve, you want to talk about the previous one, so I'll get back to that. That's even more you know, boy. That's Stephen, go ahead.
In terms of music, right? Music is something you can't stop hearing them. If I hear in on the street, in your house, sometimes the music is so loud, coming from your neighbor, maybe down the road. You can't stop it. So what are you gonna do?
You don't have to be Steve. You make it so like you have to stay.
In your house.
In my house?
You come
That was
in.
the reference to the. Well, in your house, you can go tell it, you can go tell the neighbor turn it down though. There's a noise abatement app as well. And I pray for the neighbor up there to stop turning the speaker down here and play music for them and when we in here praying and here and then quell when we hear. You really know the shop can shut down now? I prayed hard. I think I fasted to her. Woman sit down, she speaker down the road when we got church. And play she music for them, I don't remember. Okay, if I is me. Let's go ahead. Let's see what.
All I'm saying is that music is everywhere. So you can't stop your ears from hearing it.
No, I agree, but you don't have to stay in the vicinity. That comes to the next question then, Tony. Let me just be quick. It's a big topic. It was prom. A lot of pastors don't allow their children to go prom. A lot of pastors don't have a problem with it. Let's talk about the prom issue. What happened in prom, by the way, based on the American model? No, by the time you had no problem there. Mine was 4 times. Have a room? A dingy room? No. Scratch that from the Yes, what else?
It's like you dress up.
You dress up.
There's a dinner.
Basically, you dress up and you eat and you just, this is the last celebration with your classmates. Basically. Yeah, they do have music and all that, but it's up to you if you want to go on the dance floor or you want to be in the corner or
Be Christian in the corner. That's really nice.
Yeah, but it's a nice celebration.
You carry somebody too?
Yes.
You carry somebody too? How many remember this?
We didn't have to.
Anybody else?
But I left for home when they started to. I left for home when I started. When I started with the music, when they allowed to let loose and it was then when so the others.
All right, very good. Thank you, sir. All right, so yes, Tony. So you're going to be, as I said, the Christian in the prom, the gala, whatever, and the music, the flag way start up, you flag way. No, I mean you get away. What are you doing? No, I want to. So next question is then, is it? I met a teacher from Trinidad, and she said to me that in Trinidad, this is her take, I don't know how true it was. Said in Trinidad, that culture, customs, and festivals is not seen as something odd with the churches down there. Again, I'm taking her perspective because if I ask somebody else, they will see it differently. But based on what she was saying to me, I found it a bit odd what she was saying. Now my next question is, should a child of God carry their children to see street jamming? Should, this is what? Oh, no, it's street jamming, I want that one. You want to call it folklore, that's up to you. Right, so there's sections, we'll get explained.
Folklore and the troops them are different in jamming. Because when you jamming, you really jamming and everything and you band playing for that. You band playing for that, what you call dance lap and and the troop jamming. Right? But when you have any troops them you the folklore you go watch. You like to watch it.
But the folklore has
The same music.
the same music besides the only the masquerade is different, no?
But if they have clown in that,
Why would the adult take them to a street jam?
Hey, you hear that? Say it again. Tell them.
The adult is the one in charge. Why would they take their child or children to a street jam?
I'm gonna look up for your Christmas, okay? Very good. I think I almost just dropped the mic and shut down the house. But anyway, right. Alright, so good. But some person say they're going to see the folklore part, the string band and the masquerade and well, the man can jump in and be between the people them now. So. Yeah. And there's a dress group, I don't call them the car clowns too. Yeah. It's the revelers and the set yeah. There are some persons who save the money to be a clown. Sounds kind of funny to it. Yeah, trust me, to be a clown. But what do you think about the street activities that are going on now? You think that is it's getting worse? It's getting real. But your expression.
Explicit.
Yeah, explicit, very good, but so very much out there, vulgar, indecent, yes.
I was saying back in the day, around that time is when person family go in town and then like you would meet a lot of different people. But around that time is when a lot of people come in and they'll visit and so that used to be my attraction when I go in town and you'll meet the different people you haven't seen for a long time. But I don't have that desire now in terms of seeing because the atmosphere would be so out of order. But that would be my time when I used to actually go in because I used to see all the different people. Yeah.
That's true. Good was
Just agree with Sheva because once ago we used to do that. My husband and myself would like to, but my boys never used to want to go up. And this one come the same days. No one ever took the chance to carry on. And the boy embarrassed me, so I had to run back home fast because don't you tell any people, why you dressed like that? And he said,
left man.
and he had to go back home fast because he was very pissed off and ate it for real. So if I'm since that, I don't really try to do that anymore.
Oh, so you try to do it. Thank you, sir. Alright. What about this? Let's finish off with this topic. Should a child of God participate in cultural activities or have secular pursuits? Whichever one you want to answer. Should a child of God participate? What does that watching on the sideline?
What you refer to as secular pursuits?
Well, I'll leave it for your definition of what you think should be secular or what's not secular. Anybody?
Repeat the question.
What do you think of a child of God should participate in cultural activities or secular pursuits? Whichever one you like that.
Can the culture be spiritual?
Good question. Can some cultural events be spiritual?
Yes.
In the spirit of Christmas, we don't celebrate Christmas traditions.
No.
Oh, okay. When they do have gospel, they go and sing a regular gospel song.
No. I don't know how much of these young people know
Talk about that.
in the talk about in the early 80s. Let's go back 80s, early 80s. And there was no patrol of nothing absolutely. Maybe only one or two bands on the road. And most of the band that singing was pretty, the vocal cord, the singing that was really of a high standard with, that you could respect.
This is a plug for the...
You know? No, what I'm saying, it gone nearly 50 years since I gone downtown. That is before Mel never even born yet. Mel was in her mother's womb when I stopped going downtown. The reason why I stopped, because they used to have in Makajombi and the masquerade and you know what I mean. They used to have these load of things and on. Them days did. And I tell my wife, I say, well look, I'm going on the road because I hear the masquerade ain't coming back. I mean Makajombi ain't coming back. And you know where Bank of America be down there to Church Street. Wood Street. They were coming up the house so, and the crowd of people watching them dancing. Everybody here watching the man.
The ball,
the man was going to be all of them. The legal business and all. These are the things that you got to have before. And one young fellow think it best to pull out a hatchet out his side and crack a fellow, he fly in the air. And the amount of people was there, he dropped and he started flapping. You know when you win a phone, he started flapping.
Okay, another photograph for the video.
He started flat up. And when he started flat up, everybody clear out, the street clear. I mean, he's standing up watching. And I not exaggerating, but it take more than 5 minutes to eat from here to back to here. Tourist clear up the road, up.
Take this very long time, man.
You know what I mean? So, and I never go back. See, Sister Pebble deal? Never go back. So I am telling these young people, it's not a nice thing, no. Yeah, it's not a nice thing to go downtown now as a child of God to see what is going on during this celebration.
Right.
I will do it. It will dampen your soul just like that.
That's if the person wants to say spiritual, it will dampen your soul. Correct. As you already said, a lot of the lyrics were such, like more creative. You couldn't tell what the person was talking about. You had the imagination that took kind of, you had a lot of suggestions and suggestive statements and so. But now, they're plain out telling you, I can't use certain things they say. It's that plain and raw. And that's something right now we can't understand how evil people that play in buses with children in there. Start out with miss. But anyway. Oh, Mike, you're the one. Right? I can't say that I look at the camera and whisper to her and wait like that.
When I had my children small, every year end, I will make up everything and sleep on my hand and carry them down to watch the sports. And then I down there, the music perform in my stomach. And one thought always hit me. suppose God put him in a
Heroes,
period
yeah.
of earthquake, occur. And I just stopped. The
Amen.
man just turned from that.
I don't think, Sister
I always
Lemon,
have a fear when I go down here.
I don't think that way like you.
Oh, that's the church.
Shockingly, I have the same kind of mind like you. I always ask myself, what if I am here indulging in this or participating in that? If God will, if God puts in his appearance, how would I stand before him? All of that effort and years of service get washed away for one small impropriety or small act of unawareness. Go ahead, sister.
When we look at carnival, carnival is a type of fleshy lust.
Yes, yes.
And the Bible warns us to the Bible warns us that we must abstain from that. Why? Because we are in a spiritual battle.
Yes.
And I believe that a child of God should stay away from these things. You go downtown, you stay on the sidewalk, you watch these things, you just as cheap as you say you're involved in it. You understand? You might not be in the band jumping up, but just stay on the sidewalk and listen to these kind of, fleshy behavior. As a child of God, it's not healthy. It's not, especially, it's getting worse and worse.
Yes.
And the young people in the band now, they are looking worse and worse. And lust is a kind of thing that is very, very tricky. And how these young girls just dress in the carnival, it can turn off any man.
Turn off or turn on? But the both too. But if you're not standing the same, yeah, man. Let's have it.
So, you just have to abstain yourself. Whatever you can do to abstain yourself from these things, the Bible warns us to do it. You understand?
Yes.
And as I said, we are in a spiritual battle and we are in a spiritual warfare. So we have to abstain from these kind of things.
Amen.
Like Pastor said, what your eyes what you see.
Amen.
And what your eyes see is what you want to do.
So when it comes to what's in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life.
Okay, I'm saying is that you don't have to wait until it's carnival time to see fire dressing. This is something, I don't know about I, but I live in Utah. And this is something I face every day.
What is that? I pray for you right now.
Every day. Like every day, you walk on the road and, it's the same thing you see.
I want to visit him and what happened. Go ahead, brother.
You don't have to wait until the carnival. You see people when they're dressing all kind of more. Then they're blaming it on the weather is hot, so they have to.
They give the reason, that's good.
Well, he's a lot, you gotta come out with some.
Come among them.
Just add on to what everybody understands. Not even as a say alone, but just as a person of, as we said earlier, standard. Carnival has become a place for problems. And if you want to avoid problems, avoid those kind of things. Because most of the times you got out there and you have a significant other or whatever the situation. But a lot of the time, your significant other is not even with you when you go to carnival. They're with somebody else having fun on the road with everybody else but you. So it's like at this point it's not even a place for you to even be alone, knowing that you have a certain respect for yourself. Because you just see a bunch of people having infidelities and doing all kinds of things that are not correct in any sense. The law on God, whichever one kind. So for most people, I just like, well, it doesn't make no sense really.
All right, thank you, thank you.
God tells us that we are in the world as children of God,
Yeah.
but we are not of the world. And the Bible also warns us that light and darkness cannot go together. And the Bible said, come out from among them
and be separate.
and be ye separate, said the Lord. And what the Lord said, he meant it. So as a child of God, we cannot involve ourselves in certain things of this world. We can partake ourselves with certain things. Bitter and sweet water.
Can't exist yet. The same fountain.
Bitter and sweet water
Can't come with the sweet fountain.
cannot mix together. So you either be, as Bible says, we are the what? The salt
Of the earth.
of the earth. And if the salt has lost its savor,
We shall it be salt.
So the Bible says we must come up from among them. That does not mean that if you have a neighbor you cannot talk to them. That's what it means. But the things of this world, as I said, the lust of the flesh, the pride of life, the Bible warns us against these things. So we must look like a separate people called by the name of Jesus.
Amen.
Excuse.
But this is the last after move on to the next question quickly.
I wouldn't be there.
Yeah, go ahead.
Suppose I go downtown, right? And the Floco, the Marco Zombie start to perform. And the person that performing know me. And they come start to perform on top of me. And they come on top of me.
The bull that come on and
the bull come on, exactly. The bull. He come on and he start to walk up on top of you. You gonna tell him what you
You tell him, but the camera got instead.
No, what I'm saying, you see me Tawi.
Yeah,
I go to swimming every day. Can I tell the shark and the fish that go in the water?
No. Come he's in the territory.
They in the territory, so
I got joke for you.
Thank you.
The lead singer for Smartlands Band is my first cousin. Right? And when I used to be downtown, just like to buy clothes and happen to be walking around looking at for friends. Used to be on this speaker, because this is my dude come, his brother, Stevie, Mr. Wall. Used to call up my name loud on the mic. In front of the whole world. So I guess I couldn't say I wasn't there.
But damn thing,
Yeah.
for me personally, if I am on 4th Street,
Yeah.
and the band just come up on 4th Street,
Yeah.
and the band coming up down there by the clock, and I up there in the middle of 4th Street or by the bakery, you think I don't just stand up there and let the band catch me there?
Good place.
No, I don't try
Yeah,
to separate myself and hide somewhere. Because the Bible tells me, let not your good be evil spoken of. So if the band is down there, boy, if I go downtown to buy a place too, and I see the band coming up, I don't wait till the band coming up to catch me there. That is what I don't do. I don't fly to an alley or something because I don't want to get caught up with anything. You understand?
Yeah.
So if you could prevent something, just prevent it. If it gets you off guard, well.
Yeah.
But if you can prevent
But the
it.
music that you hear about this is the hard to get off there, but that's your head. Like, you know when you say you will see it coming and you will hear it,
Yeah.
so you got a chance to move do it.
Move out of the way from there.
Yeah,
You have to
right.
be catching the camera.
Right,
The
right.
first thing the all gonna say, they ain't gonna say,
What's
well,
that?
you go downtown to do something. First they're gonna say,
Yeah.
I see Bonnie's here, they're in the band, yes, so they don't know that the band really catch me off guard.
Yeah.
So I have to separate myself.
And some of these fellas too, if you look pretty enough, they probably try to dance with you if you stand up there.
Yeah.
What if you stay home and watch them on the TV?
I'll tell you that
And you
too.
pull up off the
You're gonna go on TV.
I'll be looking for my members actually, so.
I know, enjoying.
I'll be looking for my members and the students. No, I don't want you to enjoy yourself. Bye. Oh, man.
I can say what you said.
Actually, they've been televised now, sister. It's televised a lot now. So a person don't have to go down. And if you check some of these young people, YouTube news feed, because I have recognized, I try to put people on my YouTube news feed, and if they realize that the videos that they watch often came into the rotation of my rotation, mess up my rotation. So what they did, they started their own YouTube channel behind the back. And then sometimes when they click onto their TV now, because it'll be me home. I realize I go into the news feed, ban this, ban that, ban this. But I don't know what they're watching them for. Maybe they're watching this in their friends, the latest style or whatever, or the music, I don't know. But I realize that the news feed full of them now, as Sister Delisha was saying. So, should they get the rhythm? Learn the rhythm? Well, we got good rhythms in here. When Danger come back, I'm going to hear some of them. Alright? Right, so we have to be so careful. That's another thing you can check up on the little ones who will be with you sometimes, the title of them and stuff. Check out the YouTube news feed. You can tell you what they're watching.
Yeah, because the news is really important because I open up a YouTube in class. As soon as you open it, what you listen to see why not you listen?
Yes.
So what if I was watching other stuff and
yeah.
I want to see
you see all the sister Shepherd to watch. Right, last question now, guys, quickly. I want more guys, some of the younger ones not saying anything, I just ask I want, make one statement and I just disappear. No, they don't want that. This is a big thing now in the world. It's a little much, it's more secular in terms of the question, but it can apply all over and I would like a spiritual point of view about it. You guys ever heard of DEI? DEI, diversity, equity, inclusivity. Let's say it. Diversity, equity, inclusivity. This is now being rivaled by MEI, merit, excellence, intelligence. Merit, excellence, intelligence. Let's go back to DEI. Diversity means a company sometimes wants not just all white people, not all black people. Now they're bringing in the different categories now. What other categories do you think they're bringing in besides race?
Gender.
Gender. What? Sexual orientation.
Pronouns.
Yes. And anything else that they're bringing into? Diversity could also mean the region you're from.
The sexual.
Or people with disabilities as well, yes.
Sexual preference.
Sexual preference, all these stories. Alright? So I guess they'll bring up inclusivity as well. Use the mic. I think I might get a job sleep already. Yeah.
I was reading an article today. I was talking about a restaurant establishment in America denied where the restaurant is exclusive for having good-looking girls. No, seriously, it's exclusive to having good-looking girls work for them. So this girl was looking that good. Came to apply to go to apply there, but they denied her 3 times. How to find out is that transgender, and is the person don't look too like
a female?
No, it don't look too quite too appropriate to show to the front door and stuff like that. So the person end up trying to sue the establishment because of that. But in the case it's long.
Alright, anybody else? Well, okay, let's talk about the even schools now there. They're saying that in the teaching children, they have to be inclusive, let the class be a diverse class, and equity. Equity is a nice word as well, say you can't come in the class and say, everybody here must read. Because somebody might have difficulty with reading, so you might be embarrassing that person. So you might have to find a way to even the scale. Because equality different to equity. If 3 people are looking over a fence and one of them is tall as Dario and the other one as short as me, And that was your defense, but I guess your defense. What do you do to equalize it?
Give us two.
Either bring a defense or give him a stool or a stand. Very good. That's equity. But guess what in the exams now? They're making it easier reading for some students. Well, other students getting more time. When you got 40 minutes to finish a test, they got, whenever Donald told me he had to do an exam where a guy drop sleep and wake back up, drop sleep and wake back up. And he said he couldn't move till he fell finish. No, there was none. You got to encourage him to just stop. But if he decide to push through, he has to continue. How do you see that versus being talking more about competition, the merit, the best gets picked? Don't get picked because you're black. But you get picked because you are the most brilliant, the most skilled. You know, like merit, excellence, intelligence. What's your view on that? Anybody? Tony, ready?
Okay. My view is to everything there is its merit, you know. Everything has its role, everything has its benefit and its flaw. Okay? Everything has its good and its bad. For the sake of it's beneficial for, let's say somebody is on an artistic scale or so, you know, they have things that they cannot control, things that are naturally wrong with them. You have to set up in a system where you could help them react, do what they need to in the best way possible, but still set it up in a way that it benefits to them having an MEI, which is merit, excellence, and intelligence. You know, you set it up to do that. They use that, that hinder and become a benefit to them, where they still could learn like everybody else, they still could do like everybody else, but you just catering to them, right? Where it doesn't help is in the sense of, as you said, black, trans, those things where that's just something, that's just me. It's not something I necessarily, you don't hinder me per se. You only hinder me because maybe somebody here like how I be or whatever the situation. The MEI should work for that. Like you should still have your intelligence, your excellence, your all those.
The inclusivity can happen that you would have gotten the job, but because they have the white percentage of black. Okay, 1% of white, let me say that you're black. Then you lose out on the job opportunity, or because they try to fail, have 30% black, a quarter, very good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There shouldn't be any quarter for that state of situation where, because I'm this, I get you now, it shouldn't work that way. Everybody should have quote unquote equal opportunity. That's it. But it works in the sense of, if you have an actual disability, as she mentioned,
right,
you should have ways to work around it and be able to still live.
But instead of sending you to Cotton Thomas, you could still be in your class and function.
Yeah, and function and do what you need to do. But my sexual orientation or my skin tone or whatever shouldn't affect or what I do in any situation.
Got you. Thank you, sir. Delian, then Fair next, then Shebel.
I think my point of view is very simple on this, to this conversation. Of course, if you're looking for a job, remember, you need to look at their merit. What they qualify for. Over on the flip side, as we know, some persons are disadvantaged based on what may have happened years ago, what community they grew up in, so they have less opportunities. So they tend to try to cater to certain persons in those communities. And the situation in America, they have most persons coming from what we call the ghetto, and we don't try to come in the inner cities. And those persons might not afford the same education level as those in the upper class communities, whether they're in private schools. They have the best teachers, the best schools, best opportunities. I don't know, but they're connected. So the family connected to somebody in the alumni of the school.
Right.
So they try to give them those opportunities so they can become part of that organization. So that was the point of the DEI. But now, however, it has gone overboard because persons have lost opportunities because of this. And I still think persons need to be chosen based on weight. As you can see, the last election was gone. Person was choosing Kamala just because she's black. I don't think
And a woman, black and a woman.
black and a woman, I don't think somebody should choose somebody to be president or to be a leader because of gender identity based on his color of skin. I think it should be based on right.
Yeah,
That's my shot.
Keon? And then Cheryl, anybody else as well? Yeah, you might you.
So I believe that whatever position you get, you should be qualified for it. I don't believe that you should get a position because of your color or the length of your hair or because you know somebody that knows somebody. I don't believe in that.
Nepotism. Yeah.
I believe that if you're qualified, you should get the job. And when you get the job, you need to maintain that job. So you need to do what it takes. I come from a different system than the one that is here.
Yes.
In terms of school system. So school system is totally different. You have to work for the school that you want to go to. Schools are ranked based on grades. The grade of the school automatically can tell you the ability of the child.
Why? Oh.
And 9 out of 10 times is correct. So there's two sets of schools. There's skills schools, which are the technical schools, and you have the academic schools. So that really goes based on your grade point and what you're able to do. So by the time you get to grade 6, that would be like the final exam. And based on your abilities, because the exam that you do in grade 6, it has an academic part, it has a skills part. So based on where you function most, it will determine the type of high school that you go. And then when you go to that high school, yes, you'll have the ability to transfer because probably you're in there and then something will happen or you're changing in terms of what you want to do in the future, you have the ability to change.
So how is it? Okay, go ahead.
However, even though I was in an academic school, you have to work to maintain being in that particular school because there are schools that they're averaging 98% to 100%. And if you're not functioning and you're not bringing to the school the type of grade it wants, one, they're going to start calling in your parents, or two, they're going to ask your parent to remove you from the school and put you elsewhere where you're able to function. So that can be good and that can be bad in terms of, because schools are going based on a rank, they're going based on a name, and those type of schools come with a particular skill set and a particular set of teachers for those set of children.
So the DE, you're not necessarily in support of DEI then? You see any merit behind that, if you must use that word?
Yes.
You can explain it.
Because for me, I went to an academic school, and because I'm an academic child. However, when children are mixed, it takes too much out of a teacher to go from high to low.
Yeah.
When you're in a situation where everybody is of the same ability, it's easier for the teacher and it's easier for the children to function in an environment where they are of the same abilities. Yes, sometimes you can maybe put in a child of a low ability and they can hold on, but not all the time.
Right. It's a big hope that the others will pull them up.
But that doesn't always happen.
Really happen.
A lot of times
Yeah,
that
frustration.
pulls the class, that pulls back the class, and it frustrates the children.
And teachers.
And teachers. Also, in Jamaica, there are different types of teachers. There are specialist teachers, there are teachers for primary school specifically, there are teachers for special education students.
Yes.
So you wouldn't necessarily find an autistic child in the mix of the regular classroom unless that autistic child is at the top of the spectrum with some particular skills.
Yeah. Because some of them can be very good
Yes.
with memory and reasoning and so. But
Yes, so you wouldn't necessarily find them in that mix. They would be in the school for them with those particular teachers. I know like a lot of times in St. Kitts, like a lot of parents don't want to send like their child because they fit in a particular category. But for me, if that's where you belong, it's best for you to go where you belong. And if you can function above that, then they can move you out. But it's too much of a strain when you're in the school system where you just don't belong.
Amen. Thank you. It's a mouthful, man. You want to be quiet? Yeah, Trevor.
Well, being a teacher, that's the same concept I was thinking about too in terms of this school system. And as you know, we went to the school system where there were the streaming basically. And then now.
Is that streaming or teaching?
No, streaming.
They were
That's
streaming.
we went to school with the streaming. Yeah, and now the for the first and second farm, basically they wanted to do it throughout the whole school, but they started in first and second farm. And they realized that yeah, it's a challenging task having all the students in one setting, one classroom. And the challenge comes where sometimes the faster ones ready to go, to move further, and they are kept back by the weaker ones, and sometimes the weaker ones are pulled up by, you know, the faster students. So I think that was the concept of bringing everybody together so they get a little pull up, and then I think the stigma was there too with it, because once you're in that class, you know, the students start to tease you or make fun of you and those kind of things. But being back then, I saw it more of a push. Because some people, they actually should push you to want to come out of the class, to want to do better, to want to excel. But then if you really inhabit the capacity, you just get frustrated.
And stigmatized too.
Stigmatized, and you
That's
just
class.
Yeah, that's the
More
frustrating
class.
part.
Yeah.
I am more for the merit, the push to go further and what's not, but it hurts when you see those children that really trying and they can't get to elevate or go any better because of the way they were placed in that kind of behavior.
Yeah, and that's just to see, it's a Chevrolet saying, the opposite of streaming is de-streaming, right? Where we move our stream. Virtual have remove our streams. Some schools still resisting it, and other schools are doing a backdoor approach in the high school where they leave the homeroom class mixed, but each subject stream their subject. So they still pull out the brilliant ones to be group. Normally that group will be a large group, and then the slower ones will be should be in a smaller group. And then still there is the students SSS, students services, SSS again. What we used to call learning support or remedial. Every few years that we define that has a new name now, SSS, student support services, yes, student support services. They keep renaming it to take the stigma off of the class. You know, we was called this stuff like one thing, it was now called the learning support. It was called remedial 2 years. I remember I had 4R at junior high, and now it's called this student. I can't get this. Some student support services, yes. Anybody else want to talk on that? Nobody. Sister, tell us the same man. No, you believe in it.
No, although both sides, it was a hard one, because although both sides have its merit, I think it's based on the situation as well, because both sides have its pros and its cons. Well, and also, I was thinking about something. You have to think about really risk outweigh the benefit in certain situations, with whether it's better to pull children together. And as Sister Sherman and Fair said, they had tried it and they realized it was at a disadvantage. So I guess you could weigh both sides before you implement.
Yeah. No, I know in my days going to school, I don't really get, but sometimes when a teacher get a room in the class, they could know which child is very slow. And what they do, are not making the whole class know that this child is not keeping up to the standard of it. Take the child in to do the recess time, do it, after the period time, and then take the child. So when when come to exams on, you find that the child that they really expected to fail and not come out to nothing, that child come out the top because what? The teacher take that time out when she train and teach that child.
Yeah, those teachers are real, you know.
Very real, because,
Everybody want to have to do, everybody want to break, so everybody
like, teachers they like once ago, man.
it's a job.
It's only money, not the benefit of the child.
I was saying not only teachers, but relies also on the parents to put interest in the child at home so that the child could be pushed forward also, not just teachers alone.
Correct. What do you say to look at the plan?
Teachers are still the same. However, parents have changed, parenting has changed, and children are now adults. And it is shown every day. You're supposed to do everything for the children except correcting them. You cannot correct them. And discipline plays a big role. So, as a result, if we want to move forward, we'll have to go back to the old school parenting so we can give them the old school teaching.
Alright. It's a quick one, guys.
Yeah, no, I was just
Tell
curious.
me.
Yeah, I was just curious. So, when I went to school in America back in 2016, how the system was placed was, I don't know if this is the streaming or whatever you want to call it, but when I went to school, your class was based on your name. So from A to E, you're in a class. From so on, that's your class. So it wasn't no A3, no A2, no, everybody was together. But by that standard, you was in class with people who did the subject that you did. So if you did AP Science, from 9th grade to 12th grade, all in the same class. If you did PE, from 9th grade to 12th grade, all in the same class. It's just based on your name.
Indeed. Okay. I think
Your
what
last
happens-
name.
I think those in America that they have more resources though. Coming from the Canadian model, they you have a teacher could be there to support the other teacher in a sense. You know, but down here we got one teacher that will take the burden of that whole range of ability. But I don't, you know what I mean? Yeah. I know I've also heard a fellow school leave here, go up there and go to accelerate the classes and so. And down here there was in the regular classes. But then up in America, in an accelerated class here, they pulled out the brilliant ones. The bus down here was no brilliant one, right? But America still different, yeah.
Because I was similar, like, not similar, but like, I didn't.
But you were brilliant down here, so stop that.
I wasn't stupid, but I didn't necessarily didn't make sense, right? But when I went up there, the way, like, oh, you know, they say they say they're on Asians.
Yeah.
It was basically, moved on to the
Caribbean.
Asians I know looking at the Caribbean person to help them, because I was seen as, hey, you know what I mean?
Nice, man.
Yeah, but I was looking at schools in America, as you were saying about some being the brilliant ones. Them they have special classes that they put people who they think are geniuses, and they have special class just for those alone.
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah,
And
they pull them out,
yeah, they pull them out early class and start to make them to be like genius and whatnot and so because so like he told us to go up there and he had kept his grade going. He was he was staying, he was supposed to be there. So that we end up there because they look for people, especially from the Caribbean, pick them up because they realize they have something extra more than the American students and they try to push it.
Yeah. Okay, well, guys, today we talk about so glad for the excitement and the enthusiastic, nobody sleepy, we're all engaged. Thank you. Just a little quick. Yes, sometimes they tell you for somebody knows how to do that. I just quickly just to finish off, just to say this, I heard that somebody, a professor once said, and I agree with him. It doesn't make no sense to go to Harvard and be in the lowest percentile just to say you're in Harvard when you could have gone to Georgia Tech and be the 90 percentile, the highest. Albeit though, Your Harvard connection will put you in places later on, because you look out for your own. But you'll be struggling to keep up with the other guys, the other persons, when you're going to be top of top in your class. Because you just want to say what happened. But anyway, God bless you. Have a wonderful time. In Jesus' name. All stand, please.